Hey folks, Scott Chevy here. Last week I wrote a blog called What to Make of Those Negative Surveys About Higher Education in response to the release of yet another one of those national surveys, this time from Pew, that indicated that American confidence in higher education is declining. I certainly think that we need to understand what the American population as a whole feels about higher ed. But we also have to realize that a huge proportion of the respondents of a survey like that, a national sample, are folks that have no background in higher education. Some are from a disaffected proportion of the population. I hate to say that, but they are. And for those reasons, we have to think of who is responding, and the crosstabs become really important. But the one that I'm always most interested in is typically labeled four-year college graduates. Now, I wish it was all college graduates, but for whatever reason, the organizations pull out four-year college graduates. But what they never have is the crosstabs that, to me, would be most important for institutions to be looking at. And those would be current students, recent students, parents of current students, parents of recent students. Essentially folks that have had a stake or experience in higher education. It's not about earning a degree. It's not about anybody being smarter because they have a college degree. It's we want the respondents that are most important have some basis for answering somewhat complex questions like what is eroding confidence in higher education? Because if you haven't been in higher education, might it be hearsay? That's what I'm kind of getting at. And so I wanted to just walk you through a little bit of data. First, this is from the Gallup survey in the summer, but it's the same idea, the eroding confidence. By the way, it's been eroding ever since 2015. And there were certain things that happened or started in 2015 that may be aligning with this decline. But to me, this is less important or should be compared with the findings of some of those populations, the subpopulations that I just mentioned. And we have that. Inside Higher Ed, Student Voices survey was released this summer, and this was a survey of thousands of currently enrolled students. And what we see here is when asked, do you have confidence, do you have trust in the institution in which you are enrolled? We see almost 70% that have high trust or somewhat high trust. The follow-up question was to these students, as you have been enrolled, has your trust increased in the sector? And what we do see is 25%, while they are enrolled in an institution, say that their trust in the sector, a higher education sector as a whole, increases. And these are cross-tabbed in a different way, and yet another really important way, and that is by the age of the student. As a career-long researcher into the adult student, it's not surprising to me, but important to note that adult trust grows at even higher rates than traditional age trust. The takeaway here is that adults are not your disaffected students. They come with more trust, and they leave with more growing trust. Now, another very important constituency, what do parents think? Well, again, here's Lumina and Gallup survey of parents. And the big takeaway should have been, although I'm not sure this was the highlight when this came out publicly, 75% of parents still in 2025 say that they want their child to get more education and training after high school. 40% at a four-year college, 19% at a two-year college, 16% at a job training or certification program. This stands in opposition, I guess, to 6%, not more than 6% want their child to go directly into the workforce. Add to that 5% that want them to go directly into the military. And we perhaps should discount the 13% of parents who want their child to just take some time off to figure out their lives and their next move. So it's not even a contest in what American parents are thinking. And that is also extremely important for institutions to absorb, comprehend, and act upon. When we return to those students from the Student Voices survey, and they are asked, what is eroding confidence? 47% say lack of affordability and the tuition prices. 24% say the value of the degree and whether a college is worth it, which is related to the high cost. and 21% say whether college is adequately preparing graduates for the workforce. Those three are all interrelated, and they are starting to help us understand a narrative that it is about cost and career preparation. And sure enough, when they ask what would improve your trust in higher education at the bottom, 51% say increased affordability. 32% say more focus on job placement and career outcomes, and 19% say stronger connections between courses and interest in career preparation. If you combined the second and the third, which are career preparation issues, what we would see is it's neck and neck for institutions from the student perspective that they must tackle the costs of study and the career preparation of study. And very likely institutions will not be able to justify their high costs for very much longer by just improving career prep. We may be at a tipping point where the college the tuition reset may have to come into play, as well as significantly more attention on career preparation. There, I want to just close by juxtaposing this with one more piece of data from the Gallup study. When they asked the American population as a whole why American confidence is declining, 38% cited something related to political agendas, up 10% in a year, while only 24% said cost of tuition and fees, down 11 points for a year. So I want to close with what is most important for institutions. Yes, they must be attending to these political agendas issues because they're being forced to do so. But the greatest issues of importance are tackling the cost of study and the career preparation that students get in their programs. Hope this was helpful, and I'd love to hear your comments. If you want to see more insights like this, go to my new YouTube channel and take a look. I'm trying to do videos like this on a regular basis. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.